This is Beauty Wisdom, how to stop self-sabotage, build confidence, and create the life you want. I am your host, Holly Balicki. This is Beauty Transformation. Today's guest speaker is Lisa Jeffs, and she's a master creator. And we're going to dive into exactly what that is and how to eliminate self-sabotage and build your confidence and create the life that you want. Welcome, Lisa.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Thank you for being here. So, what is a master creator and how did you become one?
So what I consider to be a master creator. So I am a mindset and success coach, but I consider myself a master creator because I take initiative and I'm a conscious creator of my reality. And I would say that this is the number one thing my intention is to impart in my clients is to teach them how to be master creators of their own reality. So they get to manifest what they want. They get to have a life on their terms. They get to experience, all the abundance that this world has to offer. I know when I made a pivot from my previous career into my business that I own right now, I would say that was a moment when I really felt like, okay, I am going to be the creator of my reality. I am not going to continue in this career that I often say felt like it was sucking my soul away. Mm-hmm. What am I going to do to change things? And it was from the working with my own mentors, doing the healing, doing work around energy work, that I really started to understand that, we're never a victim of our realities. We're never just kind of flopping around the world and like being reactive. We can take a stance and decide what we want and go after it. And when you start kind of playing in that energy and things start to come into your life and you realize, oh my God, I am creating this, you really become the master creator of your reality.
Mm-hmm. I love that. How did you discover and playing around with energy? A lot of times, I know what that is, but for some of our audience members that are hearing this for the first time and they may not be familiar with that, could you dive into what exactly that means and what you mean by that?
Sure. So it's funny, because now energy work and crystals and Reiki, it is more mainstream, but not totally mainstream. Mm-hmm. But I remember being a young child back in the 80s and my mom taking me to these crystal stores and these energy healers. And at the time I was like, what's happening? What is it? This is so weird. But getting into my adulthood and understanding energy, how I see it and how I understand it is everything in this universe is energy, right? It's all a vibration. We're all vibrating ourselves, even though we see something as being solid. Really, if you were to put that microscope on, everything is just vibrating and it's jiggling around. It's all energy. So I'm also a Reiki practitioner. So that taught me a lot how to, work with energy and how different frequencies can, heal the body. And when I talk about energy in the sense of creating your reality, I like to think of it a visual of, I'm a magnet for whatever I desire. So if I'm wanting to say manifest, like let's say a vacation, right? My frequency is going to call in, whether that's, a trip down to the local hotel down the street, or if that's like a trip to a beautiful tropical destination, right? And it's kind of, for me, it's hard to explain it in a sense where a beginner might understand it. But if you just think of it like we're magnets and we're all putting out this frequency, and whatever's in our existence right now is what we are, our frequency is at. And if we want something different, we got to start vibrating at a different frequency.
That's a good analogy. I love the magnet. That's awesome.
Yeah, the magnet.
So what types of people do you enjoy working with?
So I enjoy working with, the people that I work with are powerhouses. Now, they don't always know that they're powerhouses when we start working. together. They don't always identify with that, but it's people that have a deeper sense of purpose, in the sense of they feel like what they are moving towards, their path, has a greater purpose that somehow is going to impact the world, or it's going to impact a shift that has almost like a ripple effect. So when I say purpose, the people that I like to work with, they identify with that. And they're like, yes, purpose. I get that. I do feel like that. The people that are not meant to be part of my community or audience, they're like, purpose, what is that? I have no idea what purpose is. So I love to work with women who just want to tune into what that deeper impact is, and they're not afraid to do the work, which is not always comfortable, which is not always fun, which is not always enjoyable, to get to that purpose. So they really feel at the end of the day, if today was their last day here, they would feel confident that they are in the purpose of why they came to this earth in the first place.
I love that. I love that. In what ways do you find women self-sabotage themselves? And maybe it's in ways that they might not even realize that they're doing it.
Yeah, totally. So one of the common ways that I see women self-sabotage themselves, and I've definitely self-sabotaged many things. I have 2 hands raised here. But what I see often is they're just not asking for what they want.
Yeah.
They're just really censoring who they are, what they're asking for, almost in a sense of feeling guilty for asking for too much or for what they really want, because they feel that it's going to take away from someone else. Right? There's a feeling of, if I, really go after what I want, like I want it all, I want to be impactful, I want an amazing lifestyle, I want to do this, I want luxury, that's somehow going to take away from someone else. So let me kind of censor my wishes here and ask for just a little bit. Like I could just be okay with just a little bit. But then we're not fully standing in our power. And I always say, we don't inspire people by playing small. Nobody is inspired by someone playing small.
Right.
So helping women to really tap into, okay, is this what you really desire, or is it what you think you should be asking for? Or is it what someone else told you was what you should want, or what's appropriate?
Those are really good questions. Yeah.
Yeah. So really tuning into what is it that I want? If I could have anything I wanted, and it wouldn't take away from anyone else, if I believe that this universe was so abundant that there was more than enough for everyone, what would I want? What would I be asking for?
So how does a woman become more self-aware? Like, we hear this and, I ask the question, well, what does that mean? So, and how do you become more self-aware? What would you tell someone?
So I believe self-awareness is our personal power. It's really our power for everything. It's our power to, get the career that we want, to create the business that we want, to have the relationships we desire. And self-awareness, like, to be really just basic, and like my key to when I started really unlocking my self-awareness was, I was working with a coach, and she said, listen, Lisa, I want you to take around a paper and a pen for the next week, and you're going to write down on paper and a pen everything that you're saying to yourself that doesn't make you feel good. So anytime you're driving in traffic and you're like, I don't feel like, I'm not feeling that my spirits aren't up, or I'm feeling fear, or I'm feeling worried, or I have a story playing in my mind that's telling me things that aren't making me feel good, I want you to write it down. And what happened was, I was writing stuff down like every 10 minutes. I would be writing something, some kind of critical voice that was going on inside my head. And it gave me this awareness of, no wonder I'm in the spot I'm in, and I'm not loving life, and I'm not feeling great. Like, look at what I'm saying to myself every single day. So after we did that, it was a sense of, well, let's dive in and start understanding, like, what are these stories you're telling yourself? Where are they coming from? And it's really how a woman becomes more self-aware is just through being curious, trying their best to remove any judgment of what's going on, what the stories are saying, what the voices are saying, and just being curious of, well, why am I thinking this? And why am I feeling like this? And possibly, what is it related to? Sometimes we don't even know what it's related to. It can be a story that happened when you're 3 years old. But just being curious and asking questions that's the key to unlocking that deeper sense of awareness that I believe it never ends. We're never going to be like, oh, I'm fully self-aware and now, like, that's it. No.
Right.
It never ends. It goes on forever.
Yeah, that's for sure. So what about the woman that has lived her life by default and not design? And now she's looking at herself and she's like, you know what, this isn't working. My life's falling apart. Maybe she's going through a divorce. She's lost her job. She hates her job. And she doesn't even know what she wants, because you're talking about purpose before. And she has that lack of clarity. Where do you guide that woman? What would be the next step that she could do?
Totally. And that's a very common place to be in. And it doesn't matter like what age the woman is. She could be 20, she could be 67 years old. And at that place where I don't even know what I want. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what my path is. Yeah. So where we would start with that is, my belief is we can't start understanding what's truly within our hearts, within our souls, what's truly aligned with our purpose, with our path, without doing work around healing beliefs, healing limiting thoughts, healing all the stuff that clouds that path, that makes it, like, just like I was mentioning before, it's like it censors it down, right? So if we have a belief that, you know, if we're over, 50, that we can't have this specific life, well, then we're not going to ask for it. We're not going to believe it can happen. We're not going to go for it. So it's first is, let's do that work around healing those beliefs, really doing, and my specialty is neuro reprogramming. So I like to go in and help my clients like reprogram those pathways in their minds. So we start firing off a different pathway. We start thinking differently. We start feeling differently. And when we get to that place, then we can start to the discovery of, okay, well, now when we believe that anything is possible and we can tap into any future we desire, what does that look like? What feels good? And I always say that, people get trapped in this trap of, I'm going to just think my way to clarity. I'm just going to think my way and it's all going to be clear. And I'm going to get to the place where, like, it all makes sense. That does not, like, we cannot think our way to clarity. We just end up going down a rabbit hole and it gets more and more confusing. Clarity comes through action. So when you're at a place where you're feeling good, you're feeling like the possibilities are unlimited, then it's, well, what's that baby step I can take that is going to give me some clarity on, does this feel in alignment or does this not feel in alignment? And there's literally no wrong decision when you're taking action to develop that clarity, because if it doesn't work, it's going to give you clarity to put you on that right path. If it does feel good, then that's going to continue to open up and give you more of an expansive feeling. I always like to say, when you're feeling expansive, you're feeling like, again, to the energy, when you're feeling like that energy is going out, that's a path that's in alignment for you.
What about for the woman that she's like, oh, I like this, but it's scary, and she doesn't know if she's scared because it's uncomfortable for her or if she's scared because it's not feeling right? Is there a fine line there that maybe you could describe for that woman that needs to hear this?
So exactly what I was saying about that energy of, because the mind can cloud things, it can play tricks, right? Our energy never lies. And this is something that I take my clients through, but it's a practice. So if you're listening to this right now and you're like, I have no idea what she's talking about, it's making no sense. It's just like tuning in, and it's a practice. But when you can think about something that you already know is right for you, so maybe it's a relationship with your spouse, or maybe it's with your kids, or maybe it's already a decision that you've already done that worked out. You just sit quietly for a minute and ground yourself, which is like you ground your energy into your body, close your eyes, and you can feel that energy. It just feels like that sweet spot of expansion. You're like, yes, yes, this is right. Then you can do the opposite and think about something, maybe an ex-partner, maybe an ex-friend, maybe a decision that was like a total nightmare. And then you do the same thing. You close your eyes and you tune in, and you're going to feel that contracted energy. You're going to be like, ugh, ugh, ugh. When you tune in and you start mastering that feeling of expansion versus contraction, you can think about that option that maybe you're scared of, that you like it, but you don't know if it's right for you, if it's wrong for you. Tune in and feel if you're feeling expansive or contractive when you think about it. And that's a good indication of what's in alignment or what's not in alignment.
I like that. Thank you. I understand that you're going to be offering a free gift. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes. So the free gift that I'm offering is an audio download. It is a guided visualization. The purpose is to help you to create your own visualization. What a visualization is I like to think of it as what we desire, but in story form. So whether you're a naturally visual person, or you're more of a feeling person, or more of a knowing person, it doesn't matter. You can do the audio, but the purpose of it is to help you to call in those desires. So to help you to create a manifestation that you want for your life, something that feels really, really good. I talk about in mine, it's very extra and it's very luxurious. And again, this is part of that magnet feeling. So when you do a visualization consistently, the brain can't tell what's real or what you're telling it. So the purpose is to continue implanting this visualization of what you desire every day, to where you are literally vibrating at that frequency and calling it in. It's really fun. It's really fun. It's a short audio, and it's for anyone who wants to take part in it.
Sounds fun. It sounds fun. Lisa, where can people find you at?
So people can find me. You can come visit my website. It's at lisajeffs.com. My Instagram, I'm always on there posting stories, doing my thing. Lisa_Jeffs. The last name is Jeffs, like Frank Sam. Or you can come and see me on Facebook, on my Facebook page, where I do live videos, live trainings, all that stuff.
I love that. Great, great. Is there anything else that you would like to add?
The only thing I'd like to add to you, whoever watching this, to all the viewers, is 2020, the way I see it, is really a foundational year to start planting the seeds and really getting clear of, where is this next decade taking me, right? The past 2017, 18, 19, we were doing a lot of releasing, a lot of healing, a lot of getting rid of stuff that no longer served us. 2020 is really this amazing, powerful year to start claiming, like, what do you want? What are you prepared to go out and claim as yours, and go get it and experience it and enjoy it? That's my final spiel.
Thank you for that. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Absolutely.